The house creaked. It was an old, weathered structure with walls that seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Every corner held a story, every shadow a memory. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and dust, a testament to the years it had stood, silent and watchful. A sigh of settling wood or something else. The floorboards groaned under the weight of time, each creak a reminder of the house's age. But in the stillness of the night, those sounds took on a different meaning. They became whispers, echoes of unseen presences that seemed to move just out of sight. Alone, you tell yourself. Just an old house. Yet the feeling of being watched never quite leaves you. The shadows seem to shift and dance, playing tricks on your mind. You try to rationalize it, to convince yourself that it's all in your head. But the unease lingers, a constant companion in the dark. But fear thrives in the quiet. In the absence of sound, your mind fills the void with its own creations. The ticking of the clock becomes a countdown, each second amplifying the silence. The stillness of the room feels oppressive, as if the very air is conspiring to heighten your anxiety. It whispers, "What if you're not alone?" The question hangs in the air, heavy and unsettling. You strain to hear any sound, any indication that you are not alone, but the silence is deafening, and the shadows seem to grow darker, more menacing. The fear of the unknown grips you, making your heart race. The last car disappears down the lane. The world outside moves on, oblivious to your plight. The taillights fade into the distance, leaving you isolated in your own bubble of fear. The night seems to close in around you, the darkness becoming a tangible presence that presses against you. Taillights fade, leaving you in darkness. The street outside is empty, a void that mirrors the emptiness you feel inside. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant bark of a dog. You are alone, truly alone, with only your thoughts and fears for company. Inside, shadows stretch, reaching out like grasping claws. They seem to move with a life of their own, creeping along the walls and floor. You can almost feel their touch, cold and insistent, as they try to pull you into the darkness. The fear is palpable, a living thing that wraps around you like a shroud. The silence is a living thing, pressing in, suffocating. It fills every corner of the room, leaving no space for comfort or peace. Your own breathing sounds loud in your ears, a stark contrast to the oppressive quiet. The walls seem to close in, the room shrinking around you as the fear takes hold. You wander from room to room, turning on lights. Each flick of the switch brings a momentary relief, but the shadows are never far behind. They retreat to the corners, lurking just out of sight, waiting for the darkness to return. The light feels fragile, a temporary reprieve from the encroaching fear, but the shadows remain, lurking in corners, under furniture. They are patient, biding their time, knowing that the light cannot last forever. You can feel their presence, a constant reminder of the fear that never truly leaves. The house is full of them, each one a silent witness to your growing dread. Every creak of the floorboard sends shivers down your spine. The sound is sharp and sudden, breaking the silence like a knife. It echoes through the house, a reminder that you are not alone in your fear. Each step you take is tentative, as if the very floor beneath you could give way at any moment. You're trapped in a cage of your own fear. The walls of the house become the bars of your prison, the shadows your jailers. The fear is all-consuming, a relentless force that leaves no room for rational thought. You are alone, with only your terror for company, and the night stretches on, unending. A floorboard creaks upstairs. Your heart pounds. You strain to listen. The house is old and it has always made noises, but tonight, every sound feels amplified. Every creak a potential threat. You try to convince yourself it's just the house settling, but deep down, you know something is off. The shadows on the wall seem to move with a life of their own, and you can't shake the feeling that you're not alone. Silence. Must be the wind, you think. But the doubt lingers. The curtains sway gently as if touched by an invisible hand. You tell yourself it's just a draft, but the unease in your gut tells a different story. You remember the stories you've heard about this place, the whispers of things that go bump in the night. You try to shake it off, but the feeling of being watched is overwhelming. What if it wasn't the wind? What if there's something more sinister at play? Your mind races with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. You think about the shadowy figure you thought you saw earlier, the one you convinced yourself was just a trick of the light. But now, you're not so sure. Your heart races as you try to make sense of it all. You grab a kitchen knife, the cold metal reassuringly solid in your hand. It's a small comfort, but it's something. You grip it tightly, your knuckles turning white. The knife feels heavy, but you know you need it. It's your only defense against whatever might be lurking in the shadows. You take a deep breath, trying to steady your nerves. Slowly you climb the stairs, each step a terrifying journey into the unknown. The stairs creak under your weight, each sound echoing in the silence. You move cautiously, trying to make as little noise as possible. Every step feels like an eternity, and you can't help but imagine what might be waiting for you at the top. Your mind conjures up images of all the things that could go wrong, but you push them aside. You have to keep moving. The air grows colder, heavy with an unseen presence. You can see your breath in the dim light, each exhale a reminder of the chill that has settled over the house. You shiver, not just from the cold, but from the fear that grips you. The feeling of being watched is stronger now, and you can't shake the sense that something is very, very wrong. At the top of the stairs you pause, listening. The silence is deafening and you strain to hear any sign of movement. Your ears pick up the faintest of sounds, but you can't be sure if it's real or just your imagination. You stand there, frozen, trying to decide what to do next. The hallway stretches out before you, dark and foreboding. You know you have to keep going, but every instinct is telling you to turn back. A soft scratching sound comes from your bedroom door. It's barely audible, but it's there. You take a step closer, your heart pounding in your chest. The sound is persistent, like something trying to get out. You reach out a trembling hand, hesitating for a moment before touching the doorknob. The metal is cold under your fingers and you take a deep breath, steeling yourself for whatever might be on the other side. Terror claws at your throat. You can feel it, a physical presence that makes it hard to breathe. Your mind races with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. You try to calm yourself, but the fear is overwhelming. You know you have to face whatever is behind that door, but every fiber of your being is screaming at you to run. You raise the knife, your only weapon against the unseen. It's a small comfort, but it's something. You grip it tightly, your knuckles turning white. The knife feels heavy, but you know you need it. It's your only defense against whatever might be lurking in the shadows. You take a deep breath, trying to steady your nerves. With one final, shaky breath, you turn the doorknob and push the door open, ready to face whatever awaits you. Silence, deafening, heavy silence. It's broken only by the frantic beating of your own heart. You take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself. Get a grip, you tell yourself. It's just the house settling. But deep down, a primal fear tells you otherwise. There's something else here. Something unseen, lurking in the shadows. Something that wants you gone. You creep closer to the bedroom door, your hand trembling on the doorknob. The scratching sound comes again, louder this time. It's almost a whisper, a rasping breath against the wood. The hair on the back of your neck stands on end. You can feel it now, a presence just beyond the door, cold, malevolent, and hungry. It knows you're here. It's been waiting for you. You fling open the door, knife raised, ready to confront the source of your terror. But the room is empty. The scratching stops. There's no sign of an intruder. You search frantically, under the bed, in the closet, behind the curtains. Nothing. But the feeling of dread persists, clinging to you like cobwebs. You're not alone. You know it. You turn to leave the room, and that's when you see it. A faint glimmer of light under the bed. It wasn't there before. Cautiously you approach, your heart pounding in your chest. You bend down, peering into the darkness. As your eyes adjust, you make out a shape. It's a small wooden box, its lid slightly ajar. The light is coming from inside. You reach out, your fingers brushing against something cold and metallic. You pull it out. It's a locket. Old and tarnished. You flip it open, and your blood runs cold. Section 6. The Unseen Guest. This chapter delves into the mysteries of forgotten memories and the eerie presence that lingers in the shadows of our past. It begins with a seemingly innocent object, a locket, that holds more than just a photograph. Inside the locket is a picture of you, but it's not you. It's you, but younger, much younger. The image is faded, yet the smile on the child's face is unmistakable. It's a smile that holds 1,000 memories, some sweet, some haunting. And you're smiling, holding hands with a shadowy figure you can't quite make out. The figure is blurry, almost as if it's a smudge on the photograph, but there's a sense of familiarity. Suddenly, you remember, this house. The old creaky floors, the smell of aged wood, the way the light filtered through the dusty windows. You lived here as a child. The memories flood back, each one more vivid than the last. You remember the laughter, the games, and the feeling of safety within these walls. But there's something else, something darker that lurks in the corners of your mind. And you had an imaginary friend. A friend who was always there, even when no one else was. You would talk to them for hours, sharing secrets and dreams. They were your confidant, your protector. But as you grew older, the memories of this friend began to fade. A friend who lived under the bed. You remember the nights you would peek under the bed, expecting to see nothing but darkness, yet feeling a presence that was comforting, yet unsettling. It was as if this friend was always watching over you, even when you couldn't see them, a friend who promised to stay with you forever. You made a pact, a promise sealed with the innocence of childhood. You believed that no matter where life took you, this friend would always be by your side. But promises made in childhood are often forgotten as we grow older. The scratching starts again, but this time it's coming from inside the locket. The sound is faint at first, like a distant memory trying to resurface. As you hold the locket closer, the scratching grows louder, more insistent. It's as if the locket is trying to tell you something, to remind you of a promise long forgotten. You drop it in horror, the metal clattering against the wooden floor. The sound echoes through the room, breaking the silence and sending a chill down your spine. The locket lies there, motionless, but the sense of unease remains. It's as if the past is reaching out to you, demanding to be acknowledged. The room seems to grow colder. The air becomes thick with an unspoken tension, and you can see your breath in the dim light. The shadows in the room seem to grow longer, darker, as if they are closing in on you. You realize that the unseen guest from your childhood has never truly left. They have been waiting, watching, and now they are ready to make their presence known once more. Section 7. Confronting the Unknown. You back away from the bed, your heart pounding in your ears. You need to get out of this house, now. But as you turn to leave, the bedroom door slams shut with a deafening bang. You're trapped. Panic rises in your throat, choking you. You rattle the doorknob, but it won't budge. The door is locked. But how? There's no keyhole. The scratching from the locket grows louder, more insistent. You can hear your name being whispered, a chilling rasp that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Section 8. Release. You're paralyzed with fear, unable to move, unable to breathe. The room seems to be closing in on you, the walls pulsating with a malevolent energy. You close your eyes, waiting for the inevitable. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops. The scratching, the whispering, the cold dread that had seeped into your bones, it's all gone. You open your eyes cautiously. The bedroom door is open. Sunlight streams in through the window. You're free. You stumble out of the room, gasping for breath, and flee the house without looking back. Section 9. An enduring unease. You never return to that house. The memory of that night haunts your dreams, a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that lurk just beyond our perception. You're safe now, but the fear lingers. You can't shake the feeling that you left something behind, something that was waiting for you, something that remembers you. And you know deep down that it's only a matter of time before it comes looking for you again.